हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, चलिए आज डिस्कस करते हैं मैक्स वेबर की आइडियल टाइप ब्यूरोक्रेसी. It is one of the concepts which is very popular, and when it's come to Max Weber, that's the general thing that everyone should know. What is his idea of bureaucracy and what is known as ideal type bureaucracy? See, ideal type is actually a methodological tool as per Max Weber. Methodological tools means if you want to do a social research, then you need some tools to do the research. For that, he created his own methodological tool, which is known as ideal type. What is it? If you are observing a social phenomena as a sociologist, then you can find out some of the essential characteristics of that social phenomena, basis which you can create the ideal type of that social phenomena. So the important thing is, ideal type is only possible for a social phenomena. In singular, it is known as social phenomenon. So for a social phenomenon or social phenomena, only you can create ideal type. So how will you go about it? So suppose you are observing a social phenomena, any social phenomena, of which you claim there are certain essential features. Let me give you an interesting example which is mentioned in IGNOU. Think of the villains in Indian movies of 1980s, 1990s, 1980s की जो movies इंडिया में बनती थी, उसमें villain को अगर हम देखें, so what were their typical characteristic features? So they would be wearing fancy clothes, snazzy clothes. They will have a peculiar way of speaking things like Mogambo Khushua and all that. Then they will have a lady companion. Then he will have 4 or 5 men around him. He would be drinking alcohol or smoking. When you write all these phenomena, you will create an ideal type of villain in Indian movies. That was typically there in the 1990s, 1980s. So this is typically a social phenomena. That's how you created the ideal type of villains in Indian movies. Similarly, you can create ideal type of democracy, court of law, n number of social phenomena that are there around you. उनका आप essential features लिख के एक ideal type बना सकते हैं. So similarly, he took bureaucracy as a social phenomena. To explain its essential characteristics, he talked about 6 as per Horlombus. In Horlombus, 6 characteristics are mentioned. I am going to talk about it. But first, let's try to understand what did he say about, not double R, it is only 1 R. What did he say about bureaucracy? See, his idea starts from authority. When we talk about authority, Max Weber is an authority. Means if you want to talk about authority, you have to mention Max Weber. In simple words, legitimate power is authority. Power which does not have legitimacy is not authority. So he has talked about some of the authorities such as rational legal authority, then charismatic authority, and traditional authority. He clearly pointed out a modern society, a modern industrial society is characterized by presence of rational legal authority. Now, I said authority is power plus legitimacy. So, this legitimacy, rational legal authority, this legitimacy is coming from law. The charismatic authority is deriving its legitimacy from charisma of the leader. Here charisma is the belief of adherents that the leader has some supernatural power. Then traditional authority is based on tradition. He says that no society can be totally be governed by one particular type of authority, but in general, in a modern industrial society, it is mainly rational legal authority, but these things can also be found. Now, rational legal authority is operationalized through bureaucracy. Through bureaucracy, rational legal authority is operationalized, means it is mechanism of operationalizing or executing rational legal authority. So, this is the explanation of bureaucracy. What is bureaucracy? How it is related to his idea of authority. Now, as ideal type means certain essential characteristics. So, what are those characteristics? So, he said in a modern society, in a modern industrial society, the bureaucracy will have certain essential characteristics, and they are these. Ideal type bureaucracy will have a hierarchical structure, means it will have a structure something like this. There will be a hierarchy present in bureaucracy, A, B, C, then D grade, all these kind of things will be there. So, there is a hierarchical structure present in modern bureaucracy or bureaucracy in a modern industrial society. Then bureaucracy works on written rules. That means during the medieval period, probably the whims and fancies of king was somehow considered as the rule, but in a modern industrial society that has no place. Written rules are the basis on which bureaucracy will be exercised. Then he says this is one of the things which is little bit controversial considered nowadays, impersonality, means those people who are working in bureaucracy should totally be impersonal, means they should not involve their personal values, emotions, preferences in the execution of their bureaucratic jobs. जो भी उनको काम करना है उसमें अपने पर्सनल इमोशंस वैल्यूज वगैरह को इन्वॉल्व नहीं करना है. Then this is fixed area of activity, that is point number 4, means suppose this is Mr. A, under him these are B, C, D, E, F, G and all. D will not interfere in the work of C, C will not interfere in the work of B. Similarly here F will not interfere in the work of, the area of activity is very much fixed. It is not like everyone can do everything. Specialization of their work is important in bureaucracy. Then he says there is formal selection process, means it cannot be on the wish of the king कि चलो तुम्हें यहाँ से सेनापति बना दिया, ऐसा नहीं. It will be based on formal selection process, or eligibility criteria should be there, competitive examination should be there, basis that they will be selected. Then there should be a clear separation of private and official sphere. That simply means if a bureaucrat, a person is working in a bureaucracy for an organization, then the means of production that is there, the individual as a bureaucrat has no ownership of the means of production there. His or her personal income should be separated from, his or her personal domain should be totally separated from the official sphere. Office and private life should be totally separated. This is what his ideal type bureaucracy is. See, There are people who criticize Max Weber for giving too much importance to rule, regulations, impersonality, etc., hierarchy, etc. Even Max Weber himself was aware of these problems. He did not say it should become like this. He said this will happen like this. In a modern industrial society, rationalization takes place throughout all the institutions, and that is the result of that rationalization. And he was aware of the shortcoming of this ideal type bureaucracy. He claimed it may lead to an iron cage. It may make the formal organizations iron cage from where there is no escape. So even Max Weber was aware of the shortcoming of this ideal type bureaucracy, and so he claimed it is the political master above these bureaucrats who can control these people, the bureaucrats who will not do anything wrong, which will go against the interest of public. So apart from Max Weber, there are so many scholars who criticized him, including R.K. Merton, the famous American sociologist. But this is what ideal type bureaucracy is. Thank you very much.